Would you notice if your thoughts had been shaped for you? The ministry of truth today has no corridors and no clocks. It is a stream of images in your pocket. My name is George Orwell. I wrote 2 small books, 1984 and Animal Farm, about what happens when power decides what is true. One of them speaks of a boot stamping on a human face. I did not write it so you would admire the boot, but so you would recognize it. In the next few minutes, I will give you a simple way to test any public claim, and some examples to make it plain. Let us begin with words. When people in power wish to do something ugly, they first look for a pretty phrase. If you can be made to repeat the phrase, you will find it harder to see the deed. You know some of these already. Collateral damage is dead children. Enhanced interrogation is torture. Alternative facts are not facts. They are lies. When election integrity means fewer places to vote and longer lines where the poor stand, that is suppression dressed for church. We can try a few more together. Preemptive action. It sounds crisp, clean, like wiping a table. It often means starting a war first. Strategic patience. It means doing nothing and hoping the problem dies. Tough on crime. It should mean safer streets for everyone. Too often it means punishment without proof for some, and immunity for others. Border security. It should mean a lawful, orderly system. It is often used to mean chaos at the border, on purpose, for politics. Do you see the trick? The phrase is chosen so that no decent person could object to it. Who could be anti-integrity, anti-security, anti-patience, anti-tough? And so, debate is smothered at birth. By the time the real policy appears, the shuttered polling place, the closed courtroom, the frightened family, it arrives under another name. Here is the simple rule that keeps your head. Take the phrase and translate it into plain speech. Ask yourself, if I said this to a child, what would I say? If the translation embarrasses the policy, attend to the policy, not the embarrassment. Here's a small exercise. Take the words targeted misinformation removal. What is it in plain speech? We remove posts. If that is necessary, say why. Say who decided. Say how to appeal. And show that your enemies and your friends are treated the same. If you cannot say all that, perhaps it should not be done. Or perhaps your real reason is one you dare not name. Another. Election Integrity Task Force. Plain speech. We are changing rules around registration, IDs, and where people vote. Who is helped? Who is burdened? What do the audits show? If the burden falls on the same kinds of people every time, then integrity is being used as camouflage. This brings us to a second point, which is really the same point. The object of power is power. It prefers obedient mouths to honest minds. Once upon a time it used truncheons. Today it prefers something cheaper, public shaming at scale, and the long terror of process, investigations that never end, threats that never quite arrive, a crowd hired at a minute's notice to call you wicked names. If you are driven to speak their words before they ask you, the victory is complete. You will say less than you know, and you will call that caution. Ask yourself now, in the past week, which true sentence did you swallow because you feared a noise? That is not prudence. That is training. The mind learns to jail itself. There is another change you must notice. Your public square has become an attention market. Outrage is the cheapest product on its shelves. The angrier the headline, the farther it travels, the simpler the story, the more it is praised as clear. This is not conversation, it is stimulation. Push the red button, receive a sweet. Push the red button again. Let me show you how it works. Headline: City descends into anarchy after reform. The video shows one broken window on a loop. The word anarchy is chosen to flood your nerves. Plain speech might be, a protest occurred, one window was broken, arrests were made. You would not click that. So, the window is made to stand for the city. The loop is made to stand for time. And a word is chosen to stand for fear. If you can be made to feel, you can be made to forget to think. Another, massive fraud uncovered. You see a stack of forms and a grave voice. Plain speech. A handful of people filed something in the wrong way. Most were caught by the system. That is not a headline, but it is the truth. Your job is not to swear never to feel. Your job is to tether the feeling to facts. Now, a question you have asked me directly. What of the strongman? In every age he wears a different suit, but his appetites do not change. He demands loyalty to himself over the law. He cannot bear defeat. He takes pleasure in cruelty. He sells revenge as policy. The danger is not that he is loud. The danger is that many find the noise refreshing after years of honest boredom. How do you answer him? Not with an equal noise. You answer him with rules applied without favor. Protect the clerk who counts the votes exactly as written. Protect the judge who reads the law when the crowd demands blood. Protect the reporter who prints what can be proved. If the strongman will not keep to the rules, then you must, especially when you are tempted to break them. The moment you abandon rules, the only argument left is a fist. You may say, "This is all very lofty. What can I do on Tuesday at 4 p.m? I will tell you, and it is plain enough to try at once. When a claim comes to you, on a screen, from a pulpit, from a friend, perform two small acts. First, translate it into plain speech. Do not allow yourself to repeat the pretty phrase if you cannot say what it means. Second, ask for receipts, two sources you can open, one measure you can check. Ask, by how much, by when, what would change your mind? If the speaker cannot imagine being wrong, they are not speaking, they are recruiting. Let us practice with three that matter in your time. Claim, crime is out of control. Plain speech. Some crimes have risen, some have fallen. It differs by place. Receipts. Local data by category. Not national averages used to frighten you about a neighborhood you will never see. If the person cannot name the place, the crime, and the number, they are selling you a feeling. Claim, elections are rigged. Plain speech. I believe votes were not counted as cast. Receipts, audits, recounts, court cases, numbers, not slogans. If dozens of audits and courts, appointed by all parties, find no significant fraud, then integrity requires you to climb down from the ledge. If you cannot, you have left the realm of politics for the realm of faith. Claim, censorship is everywhere. Plain speech. Some posts are being removed or down-ranked. Receipts. Who removed them, under what written rule, with what appeal, and whether the rule is applied alike when the politics reverse. If the rule is secret, or only your enemies suffer it, that is not a rule, that is a weapon. You see that the same habit clears every fog. Say what is being done in common words, then measure it. If it cannot be said plainly, and it cannot be measured honestly, it should not govern you. A last point, and it may be the most useful of all. Do not try to fix the whole world in an afternoon. Set your standard within reach, and keep it. Perhaps it is this. I will not repeat what I cannot verify. Or, I will not call cruelty by a pretty name. Or, I will keep rules that would restrain my own side, and I will change my mind when shown new facts. If you can keep even one of these, you will be freer than most. You cannot eat slogans. You cannot sleep beneath a roof framed with conspiracy theories. Measure governments by their harvest, not their drumbeat, water that comes when the tap is turned, streets where children may walk, schools that teach, accounts that balance, votes that are cast and counted and believed. If a policy cannot be weighed, it will usually be sold by shouting. Freedom, if it means anything at all, is the right to tell people what they do not wish to hear. So begin with plain words, refuse to be trained by fear, ask for receipts. Defend rules, even when your friends find them inconvenient. Do the small, dull, necessary work you can reach. It is not glamorous, which is why it succeeds. Finally, if this helped you think instead of just react, like and subscribe to this channel, a most excellent adventure where a brilliant team is bringing history's sharpest minds back to read the present. Share this video with someone who's ready to trade spectacle for reality.